Hello, Aquarius. We're in January 2020, leading very quickly into your sun season, and the energy is starting to pour into Aquarius. And oh, what a blessed time that is. What an impactful, illuminating, clarifying time it is for all of us to be in Aquarius season. Happy birthday to those Aquarians that were born in January. I have a couple Aquarians I really love born in January, and super, super special people in my life. This is a powerful month. Of course, the first part of the month, we're in your 12th house, your really spiritual house, where you're tapped into that wisdom that's hidden and behind the scenes and maybe not always obvious to the surface level, right? And can take you and slow you down a little bit. We also have that full moon eclipse happening in your 6th house, of how you're connecting to your physical body, that then follows into all that energy moving into Aquarius, and then a new moon in Aquarius, where you can really check in with your destiny. So these are really wonderful calibrating moons for you, right? Of finding balance and harmony. Being an air sign, all the air signs have a theme of finding balance and harmony, and you all have the duality. Aquarians, you guys are so interesting because I think about you a lot. You have the two ruling planets, Saturn and Uranus. And when you think about the duality between those two, Saturn's the ruler of, structure and commitment and time, and Uranus is the revolutionary, the electrical, the shaking up, the changing. And so Aquarians are always trying to find the balance between the structure and the revolution. And I think that's always probably an interesting journey for you all to be on. I mean, I can't speak to it. I'm a Leo over on the opposing side, like hanging out, looking over at you guys and waving and saying hi. How are you doing? Are you doing okay? I love you. But the message that came through with me, just I was thinking about that. And your ruling planet is also going direct this month on January 10th, the same time as the full moon lunar eclipse in Cancer. So, your ruling planet's over there in a fellow fixed sign of Taurus in your 4th house of home and family, of the hidden. And you probably will feel Uranus direct a little bit more just because it's more tightly connected to you and how you're wanting to revolutionize. But what I'm noticing with January, January's kind of got a reputation, right? We're all thinking about how we need to show up to this new year, this new decade. There's a lot of pressure there. And then I think, a lot of kind of sadness can sink into our bones when we feel this pressure, like this year has to be the year. I'm not a big fan of that because, there is no beginning and end. It's all an undulation that goes on and on forever. And so if it's January, work with where you are. You have your environmental influences, of course. For those of us in the northern hemisphere, it's winter, shorter days. We're checking in. If you're in the southern, you're in the height of that hot summer and the wildness of that. There's a lot of things you can use to kind of benchmark where you are. But this is a calibration time. This is a check-in time. And one of the big themes that's coming up is really checking with what truly clicks with your soul. The message that came through for me, Aquarians, is where are you just overburdening yourself? Where are you saying yes when you do not mean yes? 3 of Cups. Celebration, fun, light. 3 is that number of flow. 3 of Cups is about sharing and initiating with those you love, right? That is an unmitigated yes. 5 of Swords. That is passive aggressive, yes. Right? I mean, I think you can look at these images, not read tarot, not be into this tool at all, and see the 3 of Cups is like this fun, playful, joyful, like you want to join in. And the 5 of Swords, you're like, ugh, I don't know if that's looking so appealing, right? This is a really great pictorial example of the differences between saying yes to what makes your soul soar and saying yes to what is purely duty, what is purely expected of you. I think sometimes, especially if you're a fixed sign, even an air sign, if you're a fixed sign, you make a commitment to something, you see it through. And then a few years go by, and maybe that commitment that did feel really good and made a lot of sense, you've changed a little bit. So how it fits into your life has changed. Two of Cups. Love it. And so it's time to reassess. Are you still doing that thing because it feels like you're supposed to? King of Swords. Are you still doing that thing because maybe you haven't thought about what's next and that's scary to you and you don't really want to have to think about what's next and make those transitions? Ten of Wands. Oh yeah. Way of the Tao. Every day something is dropped, right? Every day something is dropped. When you come to the place of non-action, everything is done. I'm paraphrasing there, but there's a wisdom in that. I wrote a whole note about this to you guys too. What does it mean to be unshackled and to lean into your wild nature? Seven of Swords. Oh man, you guys are all in your head right now. Does it mean saying yes to things that don't feel right? Does it mean overburdening your schedule and pushing? Or does it mean lightening, soothing, slowing, softening in places that feel too tight? Does it mean allowing your soul to breathe so that your actions have clarity and deeper impact on your life? This is a really important point, Seven of Wands, of check-in. Where is it just a battle? And it doesn't always have to be really dramatic things. Like, I'll give you an example from my life of something that I adjusted that, like, weirdly enough, I was really like, I can't adjust this. There's no way I'm allowed to adjust this. And I was working on a little project where I was offering up like a short write-up to a little group that I don't run, but a lovely other person runs this, and she does a great job, and I kind of came in as extra support to give a little write-up a couple times a month that she could add into the materials for the group. And I had said yes to doing this and had done it for a year, and she asked me if I wanted to do it again. Eight of Swords. Okay, I'm going to pull one more, and then we're gonna talk through all of these energies, Aquarians. Oh, I love you so much. Sometimes the things that pop up with y'all, it like warms my heart in a weird way thinking about how much you torture yourselves. But, okay. And so this was a very small project. On paper, it's like, okay, this takes maybe an hour out of my month. An hour out of my month. So on paper, I'm like, why do I feel like this is so burdensome then? Temperance. Balance, cosmic calibration, my friends. Why does it feel so heavy to do this? So I should just keep doing it because it's not that big of a deal, and I already said that I was going to do it. And, I was just taking myself on this whole, I'm supposed to show up to this. And I realized, this just isn't like filling me up. It's taking energy and taking my focus. So even for that 1 hour, and I let it go. And guess what? I felt so much lighter, and it's fine. We had a good dialogue. Now she's going to be able to find somebody who wants to do that work that really clicks with her, that really aligns with her. And it also gives me that space to breathe. But it was all a mirage of me saying, I have to keep doing this, even though it doesn't fit in my life as it stands now. So a lot of those kinds of adjustments are really powerful in January. And what I'm noticing with Aquarians as I look at your energy here is that you're going to have a lot of these micro check-ins in January. And I think that's such a great mechanism. And I actually think that's a sign you're onto something really powerful here. Rather than having a lot of catalytic craziness, you're having more of like hitting into things that aren't really working that well, and then hopefully taking a second, looking at it and saying, not right now. Okay, so we already kind of covered this Three of Cups, Five of Swords, and then Two of Cups, and King of Swords. So this is what's really interesting. Three of Cups, Two of Cups, and King of Swords. This is clear, right? These are things that are working. These are things that feel good. This is like friendship, joy, expression, having fun playing. I think Aquarians, you should really focus on where you want to play. If you have a hobby or a creative thing that's not maybe on your list of things that are going to be your life destiny and change the world, but that are play, focus on that. Connection. Yes. Love, connection. Absolutely. Feeling connected, feeling held, feeling seen, feeling balanced. Allowing people to see you, allowing people to love you, and also giving of yourself and clarity, making decisions, right? When I see the King of Swords, I see Aquarians at their highest potential, which is when they're really clear, when they really make decisions that reflect who they truly are, where they are in their process, and they don't dilly-dally and torture themselves, right? This guy is not going to go in the same circuit all around. He's going to use that sword and cut to the chase and say yes or no. Yes or no. Decisions, right? And it's those micro decisions and that ability to hear what's working that improves the quality of our lives and helps us keep in better alignment. It's often not the more dramatic things, but here's where that Five of Swords is really interesting. This is like a card that's often associated with distrust and with sneakiness, right? Passive aggressive is really a word that comes to mind. You know, depending on the perspective you have in this card, this is either about somebody who's kind of backstabbing and planning on screwing people over, or this can be you trying to like sneak away or feeling you have to self-protect. However you see this, like I said, when you look at this image, it's like you know scenarios you've been in that feel like this, you know, and they don't even have to be backstabbing or brutal. It can just be like you just feel kind of prickly and barbed and heavy and paranoid and overthinking. And those are always going to be moments where you can say, oh yeah, I don't have to pick that up. And that's the thing. That's where there's this big discernment for Aquarians. You all are trying to analyze yourself into why you have to keep doing something, keep being something, keep holding up a certain type of work, a certain type of way that you move through the world, a certain commitment, a certain way you move in your relationships. And really, the reason you're feeling so foggy is because you already know what it is you want to change, what it is you want to shift. The next four cards, my gosh, you guys, what is going on, Aquarius? What is working at you so deeply? 10 of Wands, 7 of Swords, 7 of Wands, 8 of Swords. You know, Wands and Swords, this is action in the world and our mental state. And there seems to be a disagreement here with your thoughts. Your thoughts and your actions right now are not feeling, you know, maybe this is a chance for you to really look at where you just feel completely embattled. Completely like you have to convince yourself time and again to keep holding on, to keep pushing through. What is it that you need to just let go of? And I think, you know, this isn't just a soul thing of like, let go of this thing, but it's like a commitment, a part of your life that you feel like you have to just keep sustaining, even if it's not filling you anymore. You know, it's like you don't trust yourself to let it go. So you keep forcing yourself to battle it through. You keep forcing yourself to show up and figure it out. And then that leaves you feeling blind and over-analytical. Now here's the thing. Temperance is here. And so is King of Swords. This isn't a negative month by any means. Let me point that out here. There's a lot of really positive energy here. If you're willing to calibrate. These are balancers, right? Temperance is about tempering a substance, right? It's about slowing down and really assessing. So interesting because temperance is tied to Sagittarius energy. And Sagittarius energy is all about philosophy and worldview. But Sag is also fire, right? Action. Also about thought and philosophy. And you guys really jive with Sagittarian energy in many ways. But this card is about that deeper wisdom, right? The gut reactions, like, this is a really great exercise. If you do have something that's weighing on you, whether it's like a relationship or a project or anything like that, you know, write out the question, you know, if I could have any result from this situation, what would it be? And immediately write out what it is that you would want. For example, you know, if you're like dating somebody and they're kind of dicking you around, you know, ask, what do I really want out of this relationship? And, you know, you'll find that you'll write, I want that person to fully show up, or I want them to get out of my life. And the boldness of just averring that that is what you desire is so potent and so powerful. But the Temperance card is going to ask you to assess and weigh. And it's going to ask you to temper things. Now, that's the thing. Micro adjustments are really important. Martha Beck always talks about micro adjustments. It's not always about, like I said, upending your life and turning it into a zone of chaos. If you have a chore or something, and you can find a way to maybe hire somebody else to do it, or to maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe you don't need to do that thing every single week, and replace it with something that you love, drawing for 10 minutes, going for a walk. Do those micro adjustments. Start to make adjustments that honor that feeling of, oh, I just feel like I'm forcing myself through this, and start weighing in the favor of what your soul is saying. That's really important for you this month, and it's going to keep coming up. So the sooner you listen, the easier this month will be. I'm going to pull a final card from my Animal Totem Tarot. This has been a really fun deck that I'm learning so much about and feeling through, and it's a really great way to get that final message as far as what to work with. Oh, what was I just saying about play? 6 of Cups, otters. Oh, who doesn't love otters? I feel like this is such a perfect representation of Aquarians too. Like, yes, this is so you guys. You guys are amazing. I love you so much. I'm going to read there's really beautiful transmissions in here from that the author and creator of this deck did. And so I'm going to read you the little message that comes through for Otter. Here it is. And this is such a good message for you guys. This is exactly what we want to focus for Aquarians this month. Play is not just a big part of our lives. This is the otter speaking. It is the very energy we manifested from. Everything we experience in this physical form is part of a game we call life. Yes, the biggest play of all is the life you came here to live. But you didn't come here to play alone, as this particular game is not a one-player game. You came here to play with others. Playing with others is not only good fun, but it's what the soul came here to do. That is such a perfect message for Aquarians, right? You guys are so connected. You're such wonderful, warm people that want to feel the connection. And that sense of play, that sense of fun, and really focusing on those connections and those experiences that feel like play, that feel like fun, that feel that otter way. Like, look at this image again. How beautiful is that? God, I love otters. I could just, I think, watch otter videos on YouTube, like probably for way longer than is ever necessary. But yeah, I mean, all this other sword stuff, getting in your head, holding yourself back, forcing you to do things that don't feel very good, it's not worth it. It's not worth the energy. I have a toast for you all for the new year. And leading into Aquarius season, I'm so excited to witness and experience it with you. It's going to be such an amazing ride. And here are your 2020 wishes and a toast to you. May your wild spirit speak clearly and guide your steps. May you feel free in love and creativity. May you feel nourished and centered in moments of great focus. May the shifts that come about this year bring new horizons and deeper contentment. Cheers to you, my beautiful mirror Aquarians. You teach me so much about life. I'm sending you all of my best for the beginning of Aquarius season. I'm so excited to keep exploring this energy and playing with it as we move through your energy and as it gets stronger and amplifies throughout January and into February. I will, of course, be around for the new moon in Aquarius and all the eclipses coming up too. Woo! If you haven't joined me on Patreon, I'm going to be adding so much more there, and you get to learn so much more about my personal process, also about some of these bigger transits and conversations that are going on. A lot more resources are available there, so if you haven't joined me, please join me if you are so inspired. It really helps me out. But also thank you to those of you who are with me already. Oh, it means so much. You can find me on my Instagram, Sarah Verba, and you can also find me on my website, sarahverba.com. I'm only going to have a select number of sessions the first half of 2020. So if you want to get on my notification list to find out when those are, I would highly recommend you email me so that I will be able to send you an email when it opens and you can snag one of those spots available for the one-on-ones. I am sending you guys so much love. One final thing. PinkLune, as always, this crown is just my life. She made this one specifically for me, and I love it so much. Go check out her Etsy shop. She has so many more beautiful crowns, so many beautiful creations. I love her work, and I'm so grateful for her in my life. I'm sending you all so much love. I'm so excited to see what's ahead for you all, and so much more play and excitement. And I will see you for more readings very soon.